Hey Nishka, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's episode of Our Life Beginnings and Always, we are going to be doing the last moment of step 3. No! Oh my gosh, you guys, we have come so far. I can't believe we're on the last moment of step 3 and then we have step 4 left. I'm not ready for it to be over, you guys, but I guess everything has to come to an end eventually. But yeah, so we're going to be starting the moment happiness today. But before we get started, make sure to hit the subscribe button and share this video with your friends so they can find about my amazing challenges are for now. So yeah, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy. So start the last moment. No! The day and week were nearing their end and you were welcoming it in your own way by lying sprawled out on your bed. It was quiet in your house, getting to that time of night where you really should be sleeping, but you didn't feel tired at all. You rolled onto your side. Outside, the last lit-up window across the street blinked out, leaving the buildings on the block faceless silhouettes against a blue-black sky dotted by stars. Your phone came to life on the nightstand, a pale light cast on the ceiling of your room. Without looking, you threw your arm out behind yourself, groping around on the tabletop until your phone was under your palm. At that point, you lifted it up to your face, snorting once you saw the familiar name attached to a short message just reading, "Hey." Cove wasn't much for sleeping now either. As you made to reply, though, more and more texts came through in quick successions. Oh god. "Hey, you like doing things? You like doing things with me?" I mean, what I'm saying is that there are things you and I do and we like together at the same time. Now that was eyebrow raising. You propped yourself up on one elbow, sitting upright against the headboard so you could text more comfortably. Dang, you suck at texting. Man, I'm excited to see where this is going. The typing indicator dropped off and a notable pause followed. You snickered in the palm of your hand. It wasn't hard to imagine Cove red face and hunched over his phone in the dark, eyebrows furrowed as he tried to think of how to respond to your comment. But ultimately, he didn't even attempt to address it. For what I was saying, you're free for a while, right? I've got nothing big planned for the next few days. Cool, I thought so. I was just making sure. Alright. You could almost hear Cove's intake of breath as he prepared for the next part, despite the conversation being text alone. The window of your messaging app might as well have been a screenshot. You were left to keep track of the passing seconds with the rising and falling cries of crickets outside. When your screen darkened from inactivity, you wondered if you should do something yourself. Yes, you should give him a nudge. You're struggling with what to write, Mindful of everyone else asleep in the house, you did all you could to stifle your laughter. Keep going. I'm trying. The next message came almost instantaneously. What if we did something new or sort of unexpected? Would you be okay with that? Something we haven't ever done together? Sure. You levered your phone, leaning back against the headboard as you thought it over. The streets outside your window looked different at night, but you knew that if you were to wander out, there would be no chance of you losing your way. There wasn't a single inch of your neighborhood that you didn't know by heart. And everywhere you looked, from the grassy hill behind your house to the shops by the beach, you could recall a time you'd been there with Cove, mostly just chatting as you walked together. You didn't mind everyday things like that, but as for something new or unexpected... What's gotten into Cove Holden to want to do something brand new? Hey, I'm not predictable. Am I? You are. Oh. Well, not right now. One by one, Cove began presenting his ideas, starting off with attending a play. We've watched TV together in movies, but real people performing in front of us. We've never done that. I'm not sure what plays exactly are on right now, but that adds to the unexpected factor. There was a slight pause before Cove moved on to the next plan. Visiting an aquarium. Ooh, that's interesting. That makes sense, right? We go to the beach and stuff. We're pretty close to the water. But going to the aquarium would be water in a whole new way. The third and last idea was the one that was most out of the blue. Ice skating? What? Ice skating? It was a total wild card, as Cove was putting in the polar opposite of what the two of you normally did. However, it was fitting right in with the other options as something you had never done together. Let's say if hypothetically someone wanted to surprise you with an unexpected outing, would that be okay? You couldn't help but smile fondly at that, wondering to yourself who that someone would be. You said doing anything with him is good. As long as we're together, I'm okay. Oh, thank you. It was clear from the quickness of his reply and the following pause that you caught him off guard. He was temporarily left without anything to say, but he eventually recovered. Could you still pick a favorite? You burst out laughing, forgetting for a second the time of night. It'd be... let's go to the aquarium. You heard in recent years the aquarium had been making efforts towards conservation programs. It seemed like a perfect obvious fit for Cove. Alright, cool. Don't think too hard about this talk. It doesn't mean anything. You're making me laugh with this. I'm waking everyone in the house. I don't know why, I'm not saying anything funny. Good night, Mina. It's really late now. Yeah, it is. Night, Cove. With that final send-off, you put your phone to sleep and lowered it with a sigh. You had no idea when Cove was going to invite you to the aquarium, but your mind was buzzing with all the possibilities the coming days might bring. Your phone went back to its place on the nightstand. You resumed snuggling into the mattress, one hand thrown to the side and the other shoved under your pillow. Somewhere between this day and the next, you finally found yourself asleep. The next morning, after washing up from breakfast, you had just climbed the stairs to your room, ready to tackle the day, when you heard the ringing of the doorbell. You turned towards the sound, angling your head in confusion. Was someone expecting a visitor today? Then again, you weren't sure if anyone else was around, judging by the lack of footsteps you were hearing. You raced back downstairs to answer the door. As you pulled it open and saw who it was, you were only further confused. Cove? Hi, Cove! He was standing there with an unsure look on his face at first, like he didn't know who would answer the door, but the moment he saw it was you, a shy grin spread across his face. He raised one hand and gave you a little wave. Surprise! Hi, Cove. This is a surprise. Don't you normally use the window? You found it funny how you had grown so used to hearing him tapping that glass pane, then that showing up at your front door was what it took to get a reaction. Cove turned his head to the side with a considering lift of his eyebrows. I guess I do, but not today. I got you something. What? He slid his hand out from behind his back, holding it up in front of your face as he offered the present to you. Your eyes widened once you saw what it was. A rose. Oh, that's a favorite flower! Oh, oh, Cove. You're so sweet. Oh, You hadn't expected a gift at all, let alone something as thoughtful as this. He took a step towards you, so close you could see the sunlight shining through some flyaway strands of hair on the top of his head. There was a quiet little tremor in his voice when he spoke again. Come! Surprise, again, do you like it? Yes, it's my favorite. You remember? He nodded in reply, smiling at you affectionately. Of course I do. Aw, you're so sweet, Cove. Oh my god, you're so sweet. Then, growing flustered by his own words, Cove averted his eyes with a nervous glance downwards. His gaze landing on the flower, Cove laughed to himself, a thought suddenly coming to him. My dad would be proud of me for doing this all on my own, huh? Yeah, you guys remember the moment from step 2 where he, Mr. Holden, made him give me a flower or something for, that country dance or whatever the heck it was? You chuckled, imagining the stunning display of fatherly pride Mr. Holden would subject his son to. Suddenly, Cove raised his head, his eyes finding yours and startling you into stillness. What? Cove's question came softly, his voice lingering in some words as the shyness got the better of him. Aww! Mina, would you go on a date with me today? I was thinking maybe we could go to the aquarium. Aww! He inclined his head at you with a crooked smile. I had a feeling that might be a nice place to invite you to. Aww, Cove! Aww. love to. Cove huffed a sigh of relief, his lips spreading in a wide, cheery smile. Alright, we're gonna do it. Oh, you're so sweet, Cove. Oh my god. With his big question asked and accepted, Cove raised the gift towards you again, gesturing with his other hand for you to receive it officially. You carefully took it from him. I'll put this somewhere safe and then we can go. Why don't you just put it in your hair? Cove had no problem with that. Still grinning, he stepped back in his body, angling away as he waved a hand in the air. I'll get my car ready then, meet me there. Okay. As soon as the door clicked shut, you dashed upstairs to your room, prepping a spot first for Cove's gift. Then, satisfied with your efforts, you grabbed your bag, tossing in whatever else you thought you need for the outing before heading back outside. Cove's old car was parked right in front of the house. You went straight to it, hopping into the shotgun seat. As you buckled yourself in, Cove leaned forward to watch you with an eager expression, his fingers tapping the dashboard to a lively sort of rhythm. He was ready to start, but trying to tone it down so you wouldn't feel rushed. I'm glad we're doing this together. Me too. Once your seatbelt was secured, Cove checked his mirrors to make sure the street was clear before pulling away from the curb, and like that, the two of you began your trip. You settled in fully for the trip out to the aquarium in the city. It would be a bit of a drive, but you didn't mind. You made an attempt to start a conversation. It's kind of funny we've never done this before now. Why haven't we? Probably because I've never thought about going to the aquarium with anyone before this. Wait, seriously, you've never gone to the aquarium ever? Yep, that's right. Never. And not just the specific one either. I haven't been to an aquarium, period. Are you serious? Wow. No, I've been to tons of aquariums before. Oh my god, I've never heard of someone in their life never going to an aquarium. That is crazy. You have more experience with aquariums than Cove Holden. That simply sounded wrong. Can I ask why not? I figured you'd have begged to go. Cove tapped the tips of his fingers against the steering wheel, his face scrunching in contemplation. When I was growing up, my dad did try to take me. I'd never been before because I was so little. I said no. Whenever he tried to talk about it, I told my dad I'd rather go to the actual beach on my own. Or he could at least take me to the fish part of the store, but not the aquarium. Eventually he didn't ask about it anymore. He must have figured I had something against it. When he stopped mentioning the aquarium, I stopped thinking about it. It just never came back to my mind. His expression shifted to one of bemused confusion. The thing is, I don't know what I had against it, if I did have a problem. Maybe I don't like the idea of seeing water I wasn't allowed to go in, or to meet fish I could never bring home. That sounds like the kind of thing little me might have gotten upset over. Yeah, you were a brat when you were little. Or maybe I just wasn't okay with doing a new kind of trip. It'd be just someplace new, and with only my dad, Mom wouldn't be there anymore. I guess it might have made it seem not worth doing right off the bat. That's 8-year-old me for you. Yeah, oh my god. Do you guys remember the first episode where he was like, I don't know, like, wasn't he like mean to us? I don't know. I feel like at some point he's been mean to us when he was like little. Like 8 years old. Cove for you. Cove shook his head with a pained smile, then his tone dropped to a distant whisper. It was only when thinking about stuff I could do with you that I finally remembered I could go to an aquarium. Oh. He pulled his mouth into a bent smile and straightened his shoulders. He didn't want to bring the mood down. I love you, Cove. It all worked out in the end because I really got to surprise you with the news, huh? You're adorable. Aw, thank you for thinking of me. It's no problem. Aw, Cove. The conversation continued on with idle chatter about what you do when you got there. Then the large, angular building decorated with ocean-themed cutouts came into view. You had arrived at your destination. You hopped out of the car and headed over to the imposingly large guest entrance way. Good God. Geed? Geed? God, that's what I meant. Okay. Cove's head swiveled around to let his curious eyes take in every view, and you weren't even inside yet. You could see the realization of what he'd been missing out on dawn on him in real time. Cove bounced on the balls of his feet as the two of you stood in line to get tickets. His excitement continued to build. When you finally were face to face with the tank, you could hear Cove quietly gasp from your side. He briskly took some large strides to get further into the room and to get closer to the glass barrier. There he stood still. After taking a moment for himself, he whipped around to look at you. Cove was outright vibrating with excitement. His mouth opened in a large smile, but all that came out was tiny squeaking giggles. It bubbled over into full-on giddy laughter before he was able to speak in earnest. Each word was full of joy. It's amazing! I love it here! Of course you do. There's no way someone like you would hate a place like this. He cheered back without hesitation. Yeah, the aquarium is great. The two of you wasted no time before rushing around the place. You went every which way across the aquarium. Cove was enthralled by each new sight, his eyes alight like a kid in a candy store, and a perpetual, oh my god, I don't know how to say that, smile made its home on his face. No metaphorical stone was left unturned. He viewed all the tanks from his tallest of heights on tippy toes, as well as crunching as low as to the floor as he could manage. Your extravagance was just as bright as his. Oh my god, I don't know how to say that. Further by how happy you were that he had found such happiness, you beamed. After making an entire trip through the whole building, you and Cove finally slowed the pace down. You had arrived back at the original viewing room. It was a good spot for a break. Cove stood quietly near the tank in almost the same spot as he had when he first took in the view. Somehow that moment already felt like a long time ago. You weren't sure if he was feeling the same way. Cove simply watched the watery world outside with open fondness. He wouldn't get tired of that view ever. You were certain of that. You walked up to stand by him, taking in the same overworldly experience of having a sea right in front of you. Suddenly, Cove swallowed hard. Your head tilted. He wasn't looking at you. His eyes were glued to the vast ocean view in front of him. What's wrong? But his bright red face reflected clearly in the floor-to-ceiling glass pane, separating aquarium goers from the water. You couldn't understand. Nothing had happened. The realization came. This was Cove. He was flustered because he was thinking about doing something. Oh my god. Cove always got that when he was mentally building himself up. You nodded to yourself and elected to keep your lips zipped. You wanted to give him a chance to do whatever it was that he had cooking. So there's a lot of fish in here, huh? Yep. His mouth clamped shut after those vague, stuttered words. You could feel tension growing. After a breathless pause, he spoke again. You know, if you were a fish, you'd be a paradise fish, because being with you is like being in paradise. Oh. Cove pressed his forehead against the glass with his eyes wide and gazed down as he fervently refused to even peek at what reaction you might be giving. He was blushing wildly, feeling unparalleled embarrassment over the line he just dropped. You smiled adoringly while watching him. He was too cute, it was unreal. You had plenty of fish name knowledge up your sleeve. Sure. Well, if you were a fish, you'd be a clownfish! A diamond tetra because you're a treasure. A clownfish. I'm so tempted to do that. Silver dollar, specifically 20 silver dollars. You know why? Oh my god, no. That is a terrible one. Kissing Gorigami. At least hopefully you will be. Oh my god. Sunrise Guppy because you're my Doria Shuntine. Teardrop Butterfly Fish because you cry a lot. That is awful. Oh my god. I want to say clownfish. I want to say clownfish. I need to say. I'm sorry. Cove's head hung low in complete defeat. He mumbled shamefully. Never mind any of that. Obviously, you're my Rosie Barb. You snickered at the small fuss. He really was a clownfish. Okay, we'll go back. I just wanted to see what would happen. You're my adorable. You're a treasure. You're my adorable ray of sunshine. Oh. He continued to speak after his initial exclamation, but it was so mumbled you weren't sure what it was. Cove had completely lost control of the situation. God, of the conversation that he started, and he did not know what to do about that. Ultimately, he settled for turning his burning face away from you even more, as well as covering a cheek with a hand for good measure, leaving him speechless, had you feeling rather pleased. Aww. After that, Cove wanted to go around the aquarium again. He hoped to let it all sink in at a more leisurely pace while you were here. Plus, he desperately wanted more time to settle down after his latest big attempt at flirting. The two of you began your second loop down the paths. It took no time at all to become absorbed in the incredible sea life once more. As you walked, Cove stole a quick look at you after only having eyes for the fish for quite some time. Hey, would it be alright to ask you why you chose this place? What made it the favorite out of everything? It doesn't matter why, I'm just curious. Because I knew you loved it. His brows dipped at those words, and you noticed his lips wobble. He spoke up meekly. God, thank you. I do, I really love it. I know, and I'm glad. You rested your hand delicately on his chest. Cove's eyes twinkled from the smile he made. Even if he wasn't intending to do this all for you, you had to do something for him too. It couldn't be helped. There wasn't nearly enough time in a single day to satisfy Cove's desire to exist inside the aquarium, but the day did have to end eventually. Despite obviously wanting to linger longer, Cove left the building with a skip and a step. It had been a good trip. The two of you shut the door of Cove's car behind you as you took your usual seats. The clinking of seatbelts punctuated the end of the adventure. I would absolutely do that again. No kidding. Cove chuckled as he pulled the car out of the parking spot, spirits still as high as ever. Alright, time to go home. A ways into the drive, Cove glanced towards your direction. You stretched your arms as you shifted in the seat, waiting patiently for him to say what was on his mind. So, I know this was unexpected, but thanks for coming along. Any day with you was a good one. Really? Any at all? Yeah, of course. There was a quiet pause when you constantly watched Cove. It wasn't hard to imagine the blush that was likely trailing over his cheeks. I'm glad. The drive continued in comfortable silence. Cove wore a contented expression on his face that warmed your heart. Doing things like this with Cove, he made you happy. Your heart skipped a beat thinking about how mutual the feeling seemed to be. Watching the passing scenery out the window, you relaxed into the seat. The time sped by. It wasn't too long before Cove pulled into his driveway. Sighing happily, you got out of the car while Cove came around to where you were standing. He stood there a moment, rolling a pebble under his shoe. I'll see you tomorrow? Definitely. Thanks. After that, you and Cove parted ways for the rest of the day. Even when you fell back into your normal routine, your mind refused to stop buzzing with the memory of your little adventure. As you crawled into bed and closed your eyes, you were back in the best parts of today. You hoped Cove's surprise would continue just a bit longer and continue in your dreams. After breakfast the next morning, you were sitting with your moms and Liz. While you were mildly listening to the conversation, the side of your face squashed into the palm of your hand, the doorbell rang. Oh. Wait, that's not the end of the moment? I thought that was it. Oh, I'll get it. Mom passed by you to the front door. Your eyes lazily followed her. Then you turned your attention to Mom and Liz. They were still lightheartedly chatting. You weren't sure about what. Your focus snapped back when your name was called across the room. Hey, Mina, you have a guess. Oh, it's Cove. It's Cove. It's Cove. It'd be right there. Oh my god, it's Cove. It's Cove. On your way to the front door, Mom gave your shoulder a pat as she returned to the living room. When she moved by, you saw who was at the door. Hi, Cove. It was Cove again. A smile stretched out across his face the moment your eyes met. Hi, Cove, sweetie. Instantly, you looked over your shoulder to see Ma several feet away, but within eyeshot of the door, she waved. When you faced Cove again, he was looking at the ground shyly. It reminded you of the last time you had seen him the night before. That was all the push you needed to step outside, closing the door behind you for some privacy. What do you have up your sleeve today? Crossing your arms, you leaned your back against the door. You already had a good feeling about where it was going. I'm glad you asked. Then Cove chuckled awkwardly. He didn't quite meet your eyes. He pulled out another gift from behind his back. What? Surprise, wanna go ice skating with me? Oh, what? You blinked and switched to staring at him in bewilderment. Cove's eyes narrowed conspiratorially. Oh my god. The real surprise was that I'm gonna invite you to all 3 places. What? You never had to choose only one. I just needed to make sure that they didn't sound completely terrible. The longer Cove spoke, the quieter his voice became. He shyly scratched at the side of his cheek. And to check if you'd be free, so surprise again. No. You're so sweet. Thanks. His face grew red with a blush. Shyly, Cove looked away from you. So, do you like what I got for you? Or what I got you? Oh my god. Cove nudged the present in his hands toward you, hoping that you'd take it. Until now, you hadn't completely registered it. It was a carefully chosen photo collection. What? Oh, I love it. You're so thoughtful. Oh, it's a photo collection. Aw. Cove's mouth pulled into a beaming smile that reached his eyes. Chuckling, you took the gift. I'm really glad you like it. Are you gonna accept the other part too? Yeah, let's go ice skating. It'll be fun. Cove bounced a bit on the toes of his feet as he leaned over to kiss you. It was light, but you could feel a smile pressing into you and every bit of happiness radiating. Oh my god! Radiating. Okay, I'm saying it right. What am I think I'm overthinking how I'm pronouncing stuff, honestly, off of him. Thanks for coming. I'll be in the car. You can go get ready. Alright. You sped back inside and spotted your family still sitting around the table. They all turned and smiled at you. So what's the plan for today? I'm going to the ice rink with Cove. That sounds so fun. Ma smiled, beamed. Your gaze slid over to Liz, and she also looked happy for you. I hope you have a great time. Thank you. It didn't take you long to get ready and dash out the front door. Cove was waiting for you as promised, and you both set out for day 2 of his surprise outings, and this time it actually was a surprise. Now that you were sitting down for the drive, it felt like a good moment to regain your bearings. You struggled your pack onto your lap and began thumbing through your things to make sure that in your hurry to leave you hadn't forgotten anything important. You were dressed more warmly because it's going to be cold. I mean, it's an ice rink. But in the meantime, you were left to sweat under the sweltering heat of the sun. You you zipped it again. Oh my god, I swear. You zipped it closed again and, did I say sipped? Zipped. Oh my god. It closed again and Cove began to speak, raising his voice to be heard only over the ambient noise of the car ride. So, ice skating. This is going to be crazy. Having fun with water that's frozen, unheard of. He chuckled at his own joke and you shook your head at him, though you couldn't help grinning at his silly comment. Who knows, maybe in colder places it's the opposite that's weird. As you looked at him, you caught a glimpse of the back seat. It was empty, which wouldn't be strange any other day. You didn't bring a jacket? Nope, you know I hate extra layers and there aren't any parents around to force me to do it now. You're probably gonna regret that, because it's gonna be cold. Cove's eyebrows knitted together as he began to pout. I'll be fine. He stayed firmly in his seat, showing no sign he was going to change his mind. Skeptical as you were, you said nothing more on it. You laid your arm against the window, the scenery outside passing by in a blur, until finally you arrived at the ice skating rink. The 2 of you grabbed your things and got out of the car. A wave of heat so thick it felt like you were swimming in it hit you as soon as you set foot onto the sun-hot asphalt of the parking lot. Cove fell on the step next to you, dragging the back of his arms across his face. You and Cove exchanged looks. Well, here we are, his tilted smile seemed to say. The skating rink was a large building of glass and concrete, with its name plastered in simple white letters above its entrance. The nondescript flat rooftop style architecture reminds you a bit of the local mall. You went in. As the door slid shut behind you, you heard Cove start and take a breath. You glanced over at him, seeing the stunned look on his face, his lips drawn tight in a frown. It's really cold in here. Wow, you dork, of course it's cold. What else did you expect from an ice skating rink? I don't know, I've only ever seen snow on TV. Cove had his bottom lip stuck out and his arms wrapped around himself as he whined impudently. How about you? How are you feeling? I'm feeling just fine. There was no denying that the building was chilly, but it was a refreshing change compared to the sweltering heat of the parking lot. He laughed breathily. That's good. Your neighbor shuddered dramatically, almost retracting his head into his shirt in his renewed effort to keep warm. You held on to him to keep him warm. You took a step towards him and you wrapped him up in what you'd hope would eventually become a warm embrace. For a second, his body went even more rigid, but he quickly relaxed and gave you a self-conscious smile. Thanks, Mina. I'm happy to. His shy chuckle shook off his abdomen. Oh my god. You felt it on the side of your body right before he put his arm around your waist and pressed you closer. Oh my god, he's that tall? And okay, an unspoken sign that he had no problem with it. Like this, the two of you ambled over to the rental counter together, a slightly awkward process that had you unsure if you were going forward or sideways. The clerk ended up giving you two funny looks over the top of her glasses as you went through the process of paying for admission and finding skates in your shoe sizes. But throughout it all, Cove didn't shiver once. Eventually, you had your skates. It was a particularly well-worn set. Still sturdy, but where it had once been blue, it was now faded, and where it had once been white, it was now closer to tan. With some time on the low bench, you both were set up with the rented shoes and now stood by the opening to the rink. It was an oblong shape surrounded by a paneled wall with rails. You were a little amused to see that the others dressed in t-shirts and shorts, and you turned to Cove to point it out. The answering laugh that came sounded a little distracted. Well, here we go. Tentatively, he took one step onto the ice. The series of movements that followed were reminiscent of a jack-in-the-box swinging back and forth on the string. You thought you might laugh, but it died in your throat for one heart-lurching second. Cove's upper body tipped forward at a 90-degree angle. Oh my god! His hand shot out, slapping against the ledge, running against the plexiglass panels on the side of the rink. A relieved sigh left both him and you. He was mumbling to himself as he craned his head back. He must have caught the alarm on your face because he gave you a smile as shaky as his footing. I'll make it work. Oh my god. It was fun to see Cove's first time. No, I'd never been before either. You came forward to join him and you did just fine. We weren't the best, but we're doing fine. You slid out onto the ice, managing not to buckle or trip on the way. It's kind of amazing we're seriously ice skating right now, but this is what we decided to do. I just stopped being surprised over everything. Let's skate. Right, let's do it. The two of you developed a cautious rhythm, drawing long, slow circles around the edge of the rink side by side. You made sure the pace never exceeded what Cove was capable of. He was happy to let you guide him. You gave him pointers while making small strides. Sometimes he'd take breaks to settle down and give you the chance to flex more of your skills on your own. He seemed to enjoy that just as much as attempting to skate himself. White puffs of air released from you and Cove as you laughed and cheered each other on for any achievement. There were also still plenty of moments spent clinging onto each other for added warmth against the unrelenting chill of the space. The hours slid right past you, and just like that, it was suddenly time to call it a day. After returning the borrowed skates, Cove and you ventured back out into the California air. Even though the sun was almost behind the horizon, it was still palpably warmer than inside the rink. Cove rushed over to his car, his shivering hand clutched yours. You let him pull you forward and his mad dash to the vehicle. Doors were open and closed, seats were taken, the engine switched on, and he turned to max. At that, Cove finally relaxed. Your foray into the freezing cold had ended nicely at that. The car ride home went by far too fast. You and Cove were in good spirits and spent the ride chatting and laughing, bouncing around various topics. But you didn't ask the question that sat all day in the back of your mind. Why was Cove doing all this in the first place? Oh, well, I wasn't even thinking about that, to be honest. Again, you both parted ways. For the night in the neighborhood street. You watched Cove outside with a quick wave. You were halfway to your own house when a familiar voice called out to you. Turning on your horse, you spotted Mr. Holden. He lightly jogged over to talk. Hey, how are you? Hi, Mr. Holden. I'm good. Great, I was just getting home from work. What are you up to? Or rather, what are you up to today? Or what were you? Me and Cove went ice skating. You did, huh? Sounds fun. It was fun and it was also a surprise, which is weird since usually me and Cove not hanging out would be what sounds surprising. Crossing your arms, you gave a quick laugh. Mr. Holden frowned. He rubbed the back of his neck and studied you for several silent moments. Right, so, what's going on there? Something is going on, isn't it? Huh? Wait, what makes you ask that? There's not a problem, right? I'll answer your question if you answer mine, deal? You rolled a pebble under your shoe. Mr. Holden was probably the only person who could give you any solid insight to what Cove was doing. Alright, deal. What's going on? What's the story? The truth is, Cove's been doing a lot for me lately. Way more than usual. For 2 days in a row now, he's planned special dates and gifts too. I don't know why. Cove's father nodded contemptibly. He accepted the situation easily. That actually makes a lot of sense considering... considering what? I want to know what's going on. There was a pause. He was unsure what to say next or how to phrase it at least. Honestly, I've been the littlest bit worried about Cove lately. He's gotten really up in his head about something. But it's not exactly a bad thing. It's tough to know how to even bring it up. I'm not sure if I should try to have a talk about it. The longer he spoke, the wider your eyes grew with concern. There was more happening than a few meaningless hangouts. It's okay. He raised his hands in a calming motion when he noticed your reaction. Let me explain. I noticed Cove's been getting lost in thought more often recently, and he sometimes has his laptop out in the living room. He lays it lying around the couch and puts it on the coffee table. I have a clear view of it from there, and I can obviously see him looking up stuff on it. Cove keeps searching one phrase and different wordings of it too. Then he'll spend ages clicking through the linked results. The line is, how do you make someone happy? Just that, again and again. You had to consciously close your mouth after that. You didn't know what to even say after hearing that revelation. Mr. Holden gently beamed. Isn't he such a good kid? He continued, but his tone was rueful. Unfortunately, I can relate all too well to the conundrum. Who am I to judge, right? Mr. Holden shrugged in an exaggerated way to lighten the mood back up. Before I was thinking Cove might have gotten into a fight with somebody. Now it sounds like I was way off the mark. Cove clearly has other plans on the brain. I'm even more confused on whether this is something I should get into or not. Actually, I was wondering if you could have a little chat with him about what's going on. It sounds like you're at the core of Cove's sudden study sessions, so he might feel more at ease talking about it, or more embarrassed, but he'd still probably do it. I would really appreciate it. Your gaze trailed over to the Holden residence. Mr. Holden made a very good point, you had to admit. I'll do it. Thanks, you're also a really good kid. You shook your head with a smile and started walking towards where Cove went. After a few steps, you realized that Mr. Holden wasn't following. You glanced back at him. I'm gonna hang out here for a bit. Make sure you have some space to talk without a parent in the way. The door is probably unlocked, so go right in. Okay. But you hesitated for a moment. Mr. Holden's smile faded. Thanks for talking with me. This has been on my mind too, and I think it'll be good to ask Cove if everything's okay. Agreed. It'll all shake out right in the end, I'm sure. Mr. Holden grew much happier than he was a moment ago. Feeling ready, he turned right around and went into the house. Hey, Cove was sitting on the couch with his aforementioned laptop open. He peeked up at you with a puzzled look and then it melted into a smile. I thought you were my dad. Did you forget something? What are you doing on your laptop? You asked the question simply enough while pointing at the computer. Cove's eyes dipped down to the screen. Nothing really. Why are you here? Lightheartedly. Can we talk? Nothing awful, it's just a thing. Okay. Cove closed his laptop and laid it on the couch cushion next to him. He got up, shuffled past the coffee table, and stopped right in front of you. Is everything alright? Yeah, just what's going on, Cove? I was talking to your dad and he's been noticing some stuff. Apparently you've been obsessively looking up how to make someone happy. Is there a reason for that? Did he notice that? Are you mad? No, I guess I really was distracted. I didn't think people around would actually be paying attention or taking notes of things. He chuckled awkwardly at himself. Cove, will you tell me why you felt like doing that much? Oh god, I can't talk. Cove, will you tell me why you felt like doing that so much? Mina? Cove looked at you with large, earnest eyes. I did it because I want you to be happy. Oh. Oh, you already make me happy. The words flew out of you without a second thought. Cove's face instantly started to turn red. His mouth twitched. Thank you. Another laugh squeaked out at him. Now he was completely frazzled on what to say. His gaze fell to the floor and he defaulted to rubbing at his arm. Sorry. I wasn't trying to make you or Dad concerned. I didn't want to upset anyone. Sorry. Don't worry, no one's upset. Cove took a deep breath. You could see his expression lighten, but he was still lost in thought. What made you start doing all of this now of all times? I don't know. Ugh, oh my god. I need like a drink or something. My voice is done, y'all. With a deep frown, Cove looked back at you and repeated the phrase. Each time the inflection was differently. He had intended to say something different, but was coming up with the same non-reply. I don't know anything. He ran a hand through his hair, trying to understand his own motivations. I guess maybe with everything that's been happening and everything that's coming soon, it just kind of hit me that we're neighbors. A quick snort of air came out from your nose from his conclusion. Yeah? I mean, you've lived right across the street from me for 10 years. The only other kid who grew up in this neighborhood is your older sister. His weak smile bent. And then there's our parents. They sure were putting in the effort for the two of us to get to know each other. My dad literally paid you to be my friend. Yeah. That was really bad of him. Cove shook his head with a laugh. Sorry, I'm eating ice cream. Alright. Cove shook his head with a laugh. His gaze was far away as he nostalgically, oh my god, reflected on the history you had. Basically, everything in our lives was set up for us to be together. It was always effortless, and why not? It practically went without saying that we'd be around each other, but it won't be like that forever. Our parents can always be there to arrange things. We can't live in the little world of the street forever. Do I even know how to make it work when I don't have every advantage possible? I've made you happy in the past, but could I keep doing it? What even is it that I do that makes you happy? No. Cove, it's you that makes me happy. It's just you. Cove started to run a hand through his hair again, but he stopped part way through. He looked at you earnestly. It was like breathing, where when you're just going through life, you do what you're doing without even thinking. And then something reminds you that you're breathing and you become way more conscious of it. Being with you is the same. I do what I normally do without pondering deeply on it, but now all this stuff made me start thinking about it. Then I couldn't stop thinking about it. Cove sighed and stood up straighter. His eyes watched you softly and you felt a surge of warmth in your chest. Mina, I love you. I felt like I needed to try harder to make an effort for the relationship we had. I had to, and well, that's what I did. Cove scratched the back of his neck. He looked sheepish now. It seemed like such a good idea in my head. It made complete sense, but maybe it was dumb. Aw, no, it is not dumb. Give him a hug. Crashing into Cove, you wrapped your arms tightly around him and buried your face into his neck. You nearly knocked the air out of his lungs, moving so fast, but Cove soon recovered and held you back. Stepping back, you took a deep breath. Cove shifted how he was standing and watched you bashfully. You know it's okay to tell me when you're feeling like this, right? You watched him with pleading eyes. You didn't want him to keep things like this to himself. He nodded carefully. Oh, don't cry! No! I'm glad I'm here for you. Cove, you're my boyfriend. Even if us meeting is thanks to circumstances out of our control, that doesn't matter. We're close because of who we really are. We found something in each other that made us want to be together. Nothing can take that away. There was a pause where neither of you were certain who was going to speak. Cove sniffled. Aww! Thank you, Mina. Thanks for looking out for me. Even when I didn't even notice I was doing something worth checking in on. You're amazing. Aw. It's no problem. And you meant it. Cove was always there for you when you needed him. You breathed a happy sigh of relief that you were able to work through this. Well, I mean, what was the big issue? I need my ice cream. I just need it. Sorry. Cove chuckled. Now that everything was out in the open, his words were lighter. I gotta thank my dad, too. I can always count on him to be around. I have such good people in my life. He smiled softly. Cove withdrew a bit, looking shy. can I still show up tomorrow and invite you on the last surprise outing? That'd be just fine. I'm looking forward to it. You knew that you were sparring like an idiot, but honestly you didn't mind too much. Spending time with Cove was the easiest thing to you, and the feeling was mutual. Cove watched you with earnest eyes. He simply wanted to spend time having fun with you. I can't wait. Cove leaned down so he could kiss you. As your lips parted, you saw that his were curled in a smile. He wrapped his arms around you and tucked you in close. You were really nice. Aww. Your lips gladly met his once more. Cove smelled good, like a handy mixture of fresh citrus and sea breeze. You'd mutually ensnared each other with the kiss, unwilling to let end until Cove abruptly glanced around as if seeing the location for the first time. What? He ducked his head, bashfully peering at you out of the corner of his eyes. We're kind of in the middle of the living room. He mumbled the words, his grip on you tightening. My dad might commit something, but my room is right over there, so maybe we could go there if you wanted to. Okay, we could do that. Oh my god, he smiled audibly at your answer me to take it back. Alright. Cove's face was verging on crimson. Oh my god! His fingers trembled when they clutched yours. Smiling, you gripped his hand tightly together. You hurried down the hall to his room. Oh my god, are we gonna like do it? Oh my god, are we gonna actually do it? I don't want to see it. I don't want to like read it out loud. Okay, well I'm making all the way. I'm gonna eat my ice cream. I love Dairy Queen. Okay. You were the one who opened the doors, both pushed through as one. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Ew, I just burped. Sorry. Oh my god, what are we doing? Cove smoothly closed the door after him, using the heel of his foot, now allowing his hand or attention to be diverted from you for even a moment. He took you into his arms fully, holding you to his chest. You inhaled another waft of his invigorating fragrance as you stared into his open, eager eyes. What are we doing? You kissed him lightly over and over again. You sprinkled Cove's mouth with short kisses, always coming back for more. Cove responded in kind each time, aching for your touch. The tease of getting only brief connection seemed to make him crave you even more. Oh my god! His hands roamed up and down your back, memorizing the gnawing of your body and spurred you on, the gap of time between each kiss shrinking until it was nearly as quick as the kisses themselves. Oh my god! You nibbled his neck. Sure. You peppered his neck with kisses and tiny bites in equal measure, your teeth grazed against his skin, pressing hard enough to make him shiver, then compensating with, oh my god, I don't know how to say it, compensating with a soft kiss. I don't know how to say that. Cove sighed dreamily, letting himself get lost in the moment. He instinctively pressed his body up against yours while full of yearning for you. You pushed it down the... What are we doing? Taking his shirt in your fist, one hand on his waist and the other on his chest, you pressed him over towards his bunk. Cove stumbled over his feet. It wasn't even easy moving backwards as someone else set the pace, but he soldiered on. Ow. Okay. Once you judged that it was close enough to the bed for a soft landing, you opened your hand against his chest and toppled him over. He didn't resist, falling back onto the bed with a gasp. You climbed on top of him. The mattress gave gently under the pressure. Your knees sunk slightly as you planted them over each side of Cove's body. Oh my god! What are you doing? This is gonna go too far! Cove's breath hitched a much quieter sigh slipping from his mouth as the surprise gave way to realization. The position you both were in! Oh my god, he looked up into your her face with nervous excitement. Oh my god! You gripped his hair? I guess! Alright, you shifted your position on the bed and looped a hand under his head. You cooled your fingers in his hair and solidly took a hold of it. Oh my god! This is it! Oh my god! In response, Cove reached out, laid a hand on the side of your face. A pat of his thumb softly circled against your cheek. Using your varying vantage points, you pulled closer together, your lips meeting in a kiss, then you let your hand drift back down lower. I think we're good. I think we're good. I don't want to get this too. I don't want, no. You pulled back a fraction out of Cove's immediate intoxicating orbit. You can only hope that your face wasn't as flushed as you felt by the memories of what you'd been doing. Cove brushed his hand lightly against your cheek, the backs of his fingers accommodating each curve and turn. He was smiling. You could only beam back. A warm feeling took hold from knowing that you both felt good, but you still had Cove pinned to the bed beneath you. As nice as that was, it was too tempting to lean back in and get started all over again. So you picked yourself up and took a seat on the edge of the bed. That was too much, girls! Oh my god! Alright. Cool. Oh my god. Cove pulled himself to sit upright next to you. He seemed just in need of a minute to collect himself. The two of you waited there quietly for a time. The only sound your gradually slowing breath. He cleared his throat, trying to regain some control over the situation. I wish you could stay, but it's getting late. You need to head home and get some rest. Yeah, I don't really want to stay, to be honest. He looked at you, attempting to find an innocent expression. I mean, what if something just happened to happen tomorrow? You had to laugh. Cove cracked a smile, acknowledging his poor attempt at subterfuge. I don't know how to say that. How about I walk you back? I can manage crossing a road by myself. You stay here and get your own rest. Then let me walk you to the... oh my god. Then let me walk you to the door at least. Okay, god. Alright. You silently headed back into the living room together, comfortable with each other's presence. You stopped by the front door. Good night, Mina. His voice was soft, like a comforter you just wanted to wrap around yourself forever, but Cove was right. You had to go for today. Good night, Cove. With that, you opened the door and stepped outside. Bye, Covey. When you walked out into the street, you noticed that Mr. Holden was still standing out there. Oh, that's probably a good thing. He looked up at the sound of the door closing behind you, his phone in hand, and smiled as he sized up the situation. You were in there a while. I hope that's good news. Yeah, everything is fantastic. Great, glad to hear it. Everything truly resolved. You exchanged goodnight wishes with Mr. Holden before continuing the very brief trip home. Not wishing to disturb anyone, you quietly snuck inside and gently pushed the door closed behind you. As it clicked into place with a minimum of fuss, you let out a sigh. Your mind buzzed as you climbed the steps up to your room. Cove had done so much just to make you happy, and you knew he'd be back tomorrow with another big surprise. Oh, you resolved. Oh, we can change the plans? No, I don't want to do that. Let's get him a gift. Sorry, my voice kind of hurts right now. Alright. Cove had brought you 2 gifts already, and odds are a third was coming. It was time to turn the tables and have something ready to give to him. At this hour, that was easier said than done. Most stores were long closed, and Cove would be here bright and early to surprise you tomorrow morning. That ruled out purchasing a gift the way that he'd done for you. Luckily, you'd known Cove long enough to see a solution to his problem. Your neighbor was always a happy boy when he was given food. You were sure you could wrestle something fitting that description out of the kitchen one way or another. Feeling invigorated, you spun around and sped back downstairs. It was time to put your plan into action. You were a great chef, sure. You sized up your options. With an early start, you'd be able to pull together something simple in the morning. If you want to get something for more elaborate and time-consuming, you need to do it right now. There was also the option of rallying the troops. Your mom knew how to cook wonderfully, and you could easily persuade them to give you a hand with this. Oh no, let's have our moms help. We don't really spend that much time with them. It was for the best. Cinnamon rolls! Oh my god. Even as a grumpy little boy who had just moved in, cinnamon, sugar, and frosting had brought a smile to his face. Oh my god! It's stuff like Cove! Oh my god! Oh my god. Wait, so if we go back to like the other options. Wait, can I? Oh my god! I want to do everything. I want to do everyone. I want to see what all these options are because I like the little, like, flashback. Even as a grumpy little boy who had just moved in, cinnamon, sugar, and frosting had brought a smile to his face. He was going to light up with childlike glee when he saw what you planned. Okay. You were gonna make banana, peanut butter, and honey sandwiches. Oh my god! You ever remember that when he said I was cute? I think that was in that moment. You remembered how back when you were growing up, Cove would attempt to prepare his own food. He kept to very basic things. A particular sandwich had been a firm favorite of his. He'd be thrilled if you presented him with a classic like that. And then we have homemade fudge. Yep. Just earlier this summer, you'd bought him some. He'd been ecstatic with the gift. You could only imagine how delighted he'd be with some that you'd gone to the trouble of making yourself. Oh, actually, let's do cinnamon rolls. Why not, you know? You located your moms in their room on the ground floor and explained your plight. You got a fair amount of ribbing, but they agreed to give you a hand. Ma even had a recipe she swore by that you could use. She flicked through an old cookbook full of clippings and swapped recipes scribbled on notepaper and set to directing you and Mom like a real chef. You made the dough quickly, knowing it would need time to rise before it would be ready to roll out and let you continue the recipe. You strapped the dough into a bowl with cling film, hoping that the yeast would do its job. You needn't have worry. An hour later, the dough had doubled in size just as promised. You continued with the recipe, rolling out the dough and layering it with the cinnamon sugar filling that Cove loved so much, and readied the rolls for the oven. Soon the kitchen was full of sweet smells as heat joined the ingredients into one. As you waited for the timer, your mind continuously drifted back to younger days. You recalled the cheddar tourists and seagulls on the busy shopping street that had felt so vast when you were a child. Eventually, a beeping brought you back to the present. The rolls luckily came out fluffy and golden, naked without their white frosting coats. You'd whipped that up while they were baking, but you had to fight the urge to ice them right away. Until they cooled, any frosting you put on them would melt right away. Once you were satisfied that they cooled down, you topped them with a sufficiently thick layer of frosting. The teasing from your mom sprinkled into the process was merciless. They had no idea why you so urgently needed to cook for Cove, but it may as well have been the funniest thing they ever heard. Still, the gift needed to be just right, so you endured their good-natured jokes. When it was over, they patted you on the back. You dusted off your hands, satisfied with the job well done. With your mission accomplished, you headed back up to your room. You took the steps lightly, feeling buoyed that, or as you imagined how happy Cove would be with your unexpected gift. Cove was working so hard to make you happy. You dearly wanted your partner to be happy too. You could only hope your efforts would work as well for him as his plans were working for you. You were up early the next day, ready and waiting for Cove's inevitable appearance. Your ears were perked, listening for the doorbell, but instead what you heard was a familiar rag bang on the window pane. Cove. There was no need to look to know who that was. Only one visitor used your window as his personal entranceway. Getting up, you headed over to let him in. You gazed into your neighbor's face as you unfastened the window, opening it wide. He smiled at you, still crouched on the window ledge. Surprise! Cove's laugh was as wary as the cotton candy sold on the boardwalk. He was in good spirits. Yeah, surprise. I'm really keeping you on your toes, but what will I do next? He waggled his eyebrows at the joke as you stepped back to let him enter the room. Today he clambered through with extra difficulty thanks to the object he was clutching securely. You guessed it was another gift. So what did you bring this time? You teased him, continuing the joke he'd begun. Oh my god. Cove smiled bashfully, glancing down at the item in his hands before holding it out to you. With a bit of flair, he flipped open a folded cloth that turned out to be a t-shirt emblazoned with the logo of the college you applied to. Oh, you're so... Oh my god, you'll be need this. Your application is going to be accepted for sure. His eyes were trained on you, searching for your emotion on it. I hope you like it. Oh, you kissed him. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Aw. I got chocolate on my hand. In no time at all, you closed the distance between you and brought your lips to his. Though startled, Cove happily returned the kiss while still holding your present carefully. I definitely like it. He chuckled self-consciously as he gave a long look to the meaningful gift he had selected. It was as if it was growing heavier in his hands. I really do support your goals. I just want you to know that. Aw, yeah, I know. Then you accepted the thoughtful present into your own grasp. Only once he transferred ownership and cemented it with your approval did Cove straighten up and pull himself together. Okay, well, would it be alright for me to take you out today? We could, I don't know, go to the theater? He smirked, already anticipating that you'd say yes. I go anywhere with you. His expression brightened further. That was exactly what he had hoped for. Thanks, Mina. You were glad to see how happy your acceptance had made him. But before Cove could whisk you away on another big outing, you made your own mood. Your surprise would be better now than when you got back late that night. Actually, before we go, I got something for you too. What, really? It was amazing how surprised he was. Cove had spent 3 days writing gifts and special trips on you, but he hadn't at all counted on you doing something in return. What is it? Stay here for a second and I'll show you. Okay. He watched you expectantly as you turned around to head downstairs. You reached where the cinnamon rolls were waiting and collected the prize. As you flipped back to around your room, gift in hand, there was a smile playing out across your face. Oh my god, I've been recording for like an hour. Cove was patiently waiting where you left him, tapping his fingers against the side of his pants. It's a thank you gift for everything. He looked curiously, barely believing that you'd gone to the effort to select a present for him at such short notice. You handed the gift over for his inspection, his eyes widened as he saw the treat. I whipped this up just for you. Also, my mom's did help too. Oh. He blinked, the present totally taking him by surprise, but his eyes were alight with glee. You made me cinnamon rolls? I love them, though I don't get them a lot. They're not the kind of thing we normally have around. He glanced up at you shyly. I can't believe you still remembered. It's amazing. You chuckled, recalling those moments long ago that you spent together. How could you not remember days with a guy like him? Oh my god. The sentimental air was quickly dispersed as he scooped up the cinnamon bun and gracelessly squashed half of it into his mouth. Do you like it? I could take a guess, but it'd be nice to know for sure. Cove kept chewing, gesturally apologetically to his occupied mouth. Finally, after what felt like an age, he swallowed. It's so good. The best one I've ever had. Aw, you're so sweet. Cove whipped his mouth with the back of his hand, now a little calmer after the initial burst of excitement. His feelings instead settled into an into an easy, warm affection. Thank you for this. It's so nice of you. I would give anything for you, Cove. He chuckled shyly, tucking his head into his shoulder self-consciously. You don't have to give anything, though. I'm already yours. Your face got significantly hotter after that blunt statement. Even though you certainly hadn't forgotten he was your boyfriend, the way he said it, it left you speechless. His features softened, and you felt like you were being thoroughly appreciated. The food you gave was also getting its due attention. He'd already gone in for a second serving. You couldn't blame his indulgence. That said, the amount you'd given him was enough for several servings, far more than even Cove could usually finish at once. You made sure of it. But as he continued to devour it, you were starting to suspect that polishing it all off was the goal. And despite of the generous portion, he was willing to try and eat it all in order to show you how much he liked the present. You're gonna make yourself sick. After all, you're going to be in a warm car together very soon. Eating too much was a good way to spell trouble. Cove finished his current bite and let out a satisfied sigh. Alright, I'll stop for now. There's other stuff to do and I can have more later. You smiled at him, relieved that your gift could be enjoyed, not inhaled. Cove literally inhaled so much food. Oh my god. You clapped your hands, signaling that your diversion had come to an end. Alright, now we can head off for your surprise too. Cove laughed. Yours was a better surprise for sure. It was a real one, but yeah. He grinned broadly as if the exchange had fired him up even further. I'm definitely going to take you out now. Cove offered you his hand. You welcomed it. You took his hand in yours, palm to palm. Cove squeezed your hand before heading out the door, guiding you along. Hand in hand, you moved down the stairs together, out of the house and into the neighborhood. Cove's car was parked nearby. He unlocked it, allowing you to reach your regular spot in the passenger seat. Yes, Boots, I know you want to get out, okay? You know? Meow. Meow. No? I love you. See you later. Oh my god, I'm a mess. Alright. Cove paused to put what remained of his present safely away before hopping into the driver's seat. He set off, beginning your trip to the third and final activity of Cove's grand happiness plan. Ugh. So when I looked it up, there were two shows we could pick from around this time. One was a historical romance with novelty, fancy outfits, drama, and stuff. The other seemed like a modern-day story, something set near a lake and out of bed and breakfast comedy. It's kind of wacky, I guess. Oh, let's see the comedy one! Let's... I want to see the comedy. Sure, or cool, I like the sound of that. What? Can't go wrong with some silliness, right? Cove chuckled, his mouth pulled into a bent smile, right? I'm getting kind of excited. I wonder what it'll be like. I haven't seen a live play before. I haven't either. I like them in theory, though. You couldn't wait to experience this for the first time with Cove. You hoped it would be good. The rest of the drive flew by, and soon enough you were at the theater with Cove by your side. Tickets in hand, you both went inside. Shuffling down the aisle, Cove found the right seats. You were getting settled when the lights began to dim. We made it just in time. Your voice came out in a whisper. Glancing at Cove, you saw him staring straight ahead with eyes growing wider with intrigue. Then the actors started coming out onto the stage. The show set the scene, telling the story of a married couple and the bed and breakfast they inherited. It was a busy life filled with a constant stream of new and interesting guests. Hand in hand with that were the shenanigans that plagued their business, but that never stopped the couple. They intended to tackle any problem. You reached the whole Cove's hand. In the dark, you found him easy enough. His skin was warm under your touch, and Cove sighed contentedly at the feeling. You became absorbed into the story and performances, and you weren't the only one. Several times throughout, you could hear Cove's familiar laughter next to you. When the play finally came to a close, the audience broke into applause. Cove clapped for the actors until the noise died down. Then he spoke for the first time since the event began. It's over. Hand in hand still, you followed Cove out of the theater. The sun was hanging low in the sky. I had so much fun. I can't believe what a good time that was. But really, I might have to come back sometime to see the other one. Cove scratched at his cheek contemplatively. I sort of thought it was going to be hard to keep up with the, what's the phrase? Suspension of disbelief. The The actors were right there putting on a show. I thought it'd be too much to believe it was really happening, but I felt more into it than with a lot of movies. I could totally picture the world they lived in. Amused, you nodded along and listened to Cove's animated commentary. I'm still thinking about it even though it's over. Imagine if that was us, working together to run a little place of our own and dealing with all those crazy guests. What? People would come and go as they're passing through the area, giving us new stories to tell. But at the end of the day, it would be just the two of us who stayed forever, sticking out and making a life there. Oh my god, are you serious? He had stars in his eyes as he fantasized about the events of the story. Bed and breakfast do exist in real life. We could get one. Oh my god. Chuckling, you watched Cove blink and shake his head like he couldn't believe he heard you correctly. What, really? Yeah, I'd be up for being bed and breakfast partners. I'm not sure how we'd afford it though. It would be great if we could just inherit one in the story. Cove sighed. There wasn't anyone you could think of that had any connection to the hotel business. I guess we'll have to wait until we're even older to figure all that out. Or for someone to conventionally give one to us. Oh well. A few quiet moments passed and you noticed a distant look on Cove's face. He shook his head like he was trying to send a thought away. What is it? Trying to really picture a completely new life in a new place actually feels kind of weird. Now that I'm doing it, I'm not exactly sure how to explain. It's exciting but also sad. I'm thinking too seriously about this dumb idea, I guess. But if I don't remember anything from this world, then it would be pointless that I had a life before. And if it really did happen, I probably would be surrounded by totally new people. I wouldn't have you with me anymore. Surprised, you sucked in a breath. Cove laughed shyly. The fun part of imagining all was that you were there by default. Just getting to be somewhere else on my own wouldn't be nice to how cool the place was. It's settled then. I'll just have to look for you if I wind up having another chance of life, or magically end up in some other world. I hope you try to find me too. Aww. Nervous Cove's eyes didn't quite meet yours. His cheeks and ears were solidly red at this point. Of course I searched for you. I'll never forget you, Cove. You felt someone worked up for having to even say that. It was absurd to imagine any other scenario. Oh, thank you. The sincere tone's voice struck a deep chord with you, and you had to return the earnestness. I mean it, there's nothing anyone could do to stop me from trying to find you again. Well, in that case, it'll work out after all. He took a deep breath and stretched his arms high over his head. He then turned his head to your direction and pointed with his thumb to his car. We better get back to our real world now, huh? It's getting late and I think we're the only ones still out here. You spun around, getting a good look at your surroundings. Cove was right. All the other cars that were out here after the show ended were long gone. Oh my god. How did I miss that? It surprised you how much you really lost track of everything for a while. You even failed to notice how dark it was now. Come on, let's go home. After that, you made your way into Cove's car. He set course for your neighborhood. Your legs felt stiff from standing still and talking for so long, but it was worth it. On the return leg of the journey, you felt Cove lapse deep into a world of thought. Typically, even when conversations was exhausted, his eyes would flick to you occasionally, and you exchanged smiles and other such gestures. This time, his focus was split purely between the road and the recesses of his mind. But as there was no sign of trouble on his features, so you were happy to let him mull over whatever he needed to in peace. The trip drifted by in a comfortable silence. Thank God, because I'm getting tired talking. Before long, you were back in the neighborhood. You each left through your respective sides, and Cove stepped around the vehicle to stand with you. Wordlessly, he gestured to your home. He was intending to take you there. Perhaps he felt the trip wasn't truly over until you were literally inside your house. You contentedly continued to go with Cove on his whims, and you went inside. Oh my god, how is this still not over? It's been like 2 hours. Once under the light of your living room romance, his eyes locked on yours. Thank you, Mina. I know all this was a lot, but I really did have so much fun. He grinned in an almost conspiratorial real way. We really did it. This whole entire dumb plan of mine. I was happy it all became a reality. I hope you're happy too. I've never been happier. The smile he wore was small, even restrained compared to some of the grins he flashed earlier, but it was imbued with a calm, comforting contentment. Contentment, yeah. In this moment, he was as joyful as you had ever seen him. His next words escaped in a whisper. Oh my god! Oh my god, no one makes me feel the way you do. Oh my god, that's gonna make me cry. But he moved the conversation along before you had the chance to react to that admission. It had to be intentional. Mina, could I ask you to go along for one more surprise? Wait. His voice was gentle, even as he implored you for a little more. The question itself was a surprise. Another? Is he gonna propose? You could hardly believe that there was even more hidden up his sleeve. Cove chuckled quietly, nodding his head ever so slightly. A new one. I don't think I want to go home already. Not yet. And going back to one of our usual spot sounds fantastic after all this new stuff we went through. Oh, look at her nails. Oh my god, that looks good. Your hand lifted up to his face to caress his cheek. I'm not ready to let you go yet either. But I've learned you've got a weird definition of surprise over these past few days. Coming from you, a caress like that isn't a surprise at all. You smiled brightly back at him. Yeah, you're right. I'm bad at surprises. What a surprise. The two of you laughed together over the silliness of this entire mini adventure Cove had concocted. Oh my god. Concocted. Thanks for saying yes anyway. You walked down your usual path, side by side and hand in hand. You trodden the same path many times, but alright. The novelty should have been long gone, but you found fulfillment in every step you took. You were sure you always would, with Cove supporting you along the way. Whether he was near or far, it didn't matter in the end. He would always be there for you. With this plan of Cove's drawing to a close, you might have expected to feel a little wistful. It had been an exciting few days, but there was no need to yearn for what had gone. After all, you knew what the two of you would always find new ways to bring a smile to each other's face. It's what you both did, and you were looking forward to new surprises already. No. We're done with step 3. We're done with all the moments. No. Oh my god. No. Oh my god. No. I refuse to be done with this game. No. I refuse to go forward. No! Oh my god, that was such a good moment! Oh, I thought he was gonna propose at the end. I don't know why. I just did. Oh well. Maybe in the future, I hope at least. Oh my god, I would die to see that. Oh my god, do you think he's gonna propose? Oh my god, I hope he does. Okay, that's for the future. Oh my god, y'all, how are we done with step 3? Oh my god, we've come so far with this game. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. I honestly want to continue from here, but my voice is literally killing me. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I've been recording for almost an hour and a half. So, yeah, and I need to get this video up, so... Yeah, everyone, that is all for today's video. I really enjoyed this one. I hope you guys did too. But lastly, you're gentlemen, thank you for watching. Wonderful day, everyone. Bye!